Sairam everyone, and yes, you all are welcome to our political science class. Let's continue with our lesson, that is working of institution. Children, in the last class we studied about the two houses of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And today we will discuss about our next political institution, and that is political executive. Now, children, we started this chapter with the story of office memorandum, right? Do you all remember that? All those who remember, very good, and those who don't remember it, very bad. Please read the chapter, okay? Now, okay, I'll tell you what it is. I'll just go back and recap the main points. See, now this office memorandum was signed by Joint Secretary. It was signed by Joint Secretary, who was an officer in the Department of Personnel and Training, right now? But he did not take any decision. He was just executing the policy decision. This decision was not taken by him. It was taken by someone else. We also saw the role played by the Prime Minister in decision making. If the Prime Minister did not have support of from the members of Lok Sabha, it was not possible for him to take decision. Okay, support of Lok Sabha made it possible for the Prime Minister to take decision. Am I right, children? Now, so, at different level of any government, we find functionaries. Who are these functionaries? They are the person who are an officer, who work in the office job, that is government job, government office. They are the government officers. Okay. Now, these functionaries, they take day-to-day decisions. But that is, the functionaries do not have supreme power to make them, okay, supreme power. These functionaries, they do not have supreme power given to them by the people. Okay. All these people, that is these functionaries I'm talking about, are collectively known as the executive. They are called as the executive. They are the ones who execute the decision. They are in charge, of the execution of different policies of the government. Okay, they don't play any role in decision making, but they play a very important role in executing these policies of the government. So when we talk about the government, we talk about the executive. Yeah? Children, let's move further and let's see the two types of executives. One is the political and the other one is permanent executives. Now, Let us see. Let us see who are they. So let's begin with political executives. Okay? Now, political executives are the ones who are elected by the people for a specific period, say 5 years. That is, elections are held after every 5 years, right? All political leaders belong to this category. Okay, as they are elected by the people for a specific period of time through elections. So they all are called as political leaders, those who are elected by the people. Now let us talk about the permanent executive. You may be asked question, what is the difference between political executive and permanent executive? So listen carefully. So I'm talking about now permanent executive. They are not elected by the people, but they are appointed on a long-term basis. Okay? They are called permanent executive or civil service. Okay, children? Now, they are the backbone. Yes, they are the backbone of the administrative machinery of the country, of our country, you can say. People who work in civil service, they are called as civil servants. And very important point that I want to tell you is, these civil servants, they remain in office even as the ruling party changes. These officers, they work under a political executive, and they help these political executives in carrying out all day-to-day administrations. Okay? Now, it is said that, children, it is said that political executives, they have more power than the non-political executives. The ministers who are elected, they are more powerful than the civil servants. Let's find out why. Okay? Now, see here. These civil servants, actually children, they are more educated. Yes, they are highly qualified. They have more knowledge of the subject of any matter. Okay? As they are educated, the advisor who works, example I'm giving you an example here. The advisor who works under, you can say, in the finance department, in the finance ministry, knows more about the economics than the finance minister. This minister may, know very little about, technical issues, or you can say technical matters that come under this ministry. Now wait, this happens not only in financial ministry, but in other ministries also, like you can say defense, defense industry, or health, or science and technology, in mining, and many more. Advisory has more knowledge, that is, a civil servant may have more knowledge than the minister in this types of issues or matters. But the minister have to take final decision on the matters, on all these matters, because in a democracy the people are supreme will. Am I right? The people are supreme, and will of the people is supreme. These ministers are elected by whom? By the people, and thus they are empowered to exercise the will of the people on the people's behalf. The ministry, that is the minister, he or she is answerable to the people for all the results, or you can say outcome or consequences of the decision that he or she has taken. So, it is the minister who takes the final decision and not the officers. And so, political executives are more powerful than the permanent executives. Now, it is the minister who decides the overall framework and also the objectives in which decisions on policies should be made. This minister is not an expert or is not expected to be an expert in any matters in his or her ministry. Okay? Now what happened was, many a times the experts, they have different opinions or may have more than one option. What they do is they place this option in front of the ministers. Finally, the decision is taken by the ministers. Ministers decide on the basis of overall objectives. Actually, children, this happens in any organization, large organizations. The most important decision is taken by those who understand the overall picture. Decisions are not taken by the experts. They just held them, yes. But the experts can help them, can guide them, show proper route. But someone with a large view decides the destination. And in a democracy, it is the minister who are elected persons, and they are the ones who perform the role to decide the destination. Experts just help them, they just guide them. It is the minister who takes all the decisions. Now, let us, read about Prime Ministers and Council of Ministers. Okay? So before we talk about them, I'll just tell you who are this Council of Ministers. They are usually composed of those ministers who are responsible for the ministry. Okay? Now, the Prime Minister is important political institution. In the beginning of the lesson I told you, Prime Minister is the important institution in the country. We all know that now. Prime Ministers are directly elected, but there is no direct elections to the to post of Prime Minister. Is there any elections in anywhere in our country? We conduct election directly where Prime Minister is elected? No. The members of Lok Sabha elect the Prime Minister, right? When the Prime Minister gets majority in Lok Sabha, the leader, one who gets the majority, that party leader becomes the Prime Minister. We all know that. It is the President who appoints the Prime Minister. That doesn't mean that President can appoint anyone whom he or she likes. President has to appoint the leader of the party who have got majority in the Lok Sabha, or he can also say appoint the leader of the coalition parties who has got majority in the Lok Sabha as the Prime Minister, right? Suppose single party or coalition party who has got majority. There is no single party or coalition party who has got majority. In such case, the president appoints the person who is most likely to secure, to get a majority in support. Getting me? The Prime Minister continues to be in power as long as he is the leader of the majority party, or he is the leader of the coalition of parties. The Prime Minister does not have any fixed tenure. As long as his party supports him, he is there. The day party will withdraw, take away their support, okay, the Prime Minister has to leave his office. Now, after the appointment of the Prime Minister, now Prime Minister is appointed. The President appoints other ministers. Other ministers are appointed. Now, these ministers are appointed on the advice of the Prime Minister. It is the Prime Minister who advises the President to appoint all the ministers. And all these ministers, they belong to the party that has majority, or the coalition party that has majority in Lok Sabha. The Prime Minister is free. The Prime Minister is free to choose the ministers, But as long as these ministers are the member of Parliament. Children, here also we have some exceptional case. Okay, a person who is not the member of Parliament. Okay, now what we said, only those can become the minister who are the member of Parliament. Now here is the one exception. A person who is not the member of a Parliament can also become a minister or can be appointed as a minister. Okay, can be appointed as a minister. But that person had to get elected in any one house of the Parliament, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, within just 6 months, 6 months of his appointment after minister, as a minister. Okay, after 6 months, now within 6 months, I mean to say, he has to be elected, he has to be the member of the Parliament. Okay, now let's talk about this Council of Ministers. Council of Minister is the official name for the body that includes all the ministers. It includes some 60 to 80 ministers of different ranks. Let us see some of them. Okay, I'll begin with cabinet ministers. Okay, they are usually, top level leaders. It is a body of high ranking state official consisting of top leaders of the executive branch. These leaders, they belong to the ruling party or parties who are in charge of major ministries. The cabinet minister's role includes directing the government policy, making decision about the national policy, and discussing about the current national issues, current national problem, and thus discussions about the solutions. Cabinet ministers, meet in the name of Council of Ministers. It is thus an inner ring of the Council of Ministers. It confirms, it has nearly about 20 ministers. Yes, 20 ministers. Okay, now let's move on to the next, that is Minister of State with independent charge. They are usually in charge of smaller ministers. They participate in the cabinet meetings, but only when they are specially invited. Getting me? Okay, next one is Minister of State. They assist the cabinet minister. Let's move further. Now see children, it is not possible for all ministers to meet regularly. Is it possible? No. And discuss everything, all the issues, all the problems, all the policies. And so, the decisions are taken in cabinet meetings. That is why, that's the reason, in most of the countries, parliamentary democracy is also known as cabinet form of government. This cabinet works as a team. Together, all will work together. The minister may have differences. They may not have same opinion. They may have differences, different views, different opinions. But everyone has to own up to every decision of the cabinet. Okay, every decision of the cabinet. Any government decisions, any decision made by the government cannot be openly criticized by any of the ministers. You're getting me? Even if it is about another ministry or another department, no one can criticize it. All ministry has secretaries. They are civil servants. Now, these civil servants, or you can say the secretaries, provide necessary background, necessary information to the ministers, which help the ministers to make decision, which help the ministers to guide. It guides the ministers to make decision, proper decision. Who helps the minister to make decision? It is the information that is provided by the civil servants. Okay. Now, the cabinet as a team, it is assisted by the cabinet secretarists. Okay, these includes many senior civil servants. These civil servants, they try to coordinate the working of different ministry. So children, in today's class, we studied about the important political institution, right? Executive. So let's continue with this lesson in the next class. Till then, take care and thank you.